And let's start with the second part of this tutorial. I'm going to log off and let's go straight to my interface. Right here, there's one thing I like to do. It looks a little bit plain. Let me just select the form, go to the properties, and I'm going to change the back color of the property to cadet blue. So just type in cadet blue in there. There we go. Right. Let's see how that is looking now. Okay, with the cadet blue in, that's how it's looking. And maybe I should even change the back color of all of these as well. Okay, let's do that. And I'm going to select it all. Select this very one here, and this. Let's go straight to the properties and just change that to cadet blue as well. There. I think that is much better. So let's select it all and just kind of like push it up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to settle for that. Now, you see these buttons. I want when I click on these buttons should show the amount the customer is depositing. Now let's do that. So I'm going to first of all move this button down a little bit because they all seems to be way up there. Okay, let's select all of these buttons, and I'm going to select the 0 and the decimal number as well. And let's go to the properties here. Let's go to events, and I'm going to select event, click. Let's give that a name. I'll call it numbers only. Press enter. There. And right here, I'm going to create an object. I'll call it button. Let's say button B, and that is going to be equals, open a bracket, button, close the bracket, is going to be using the sender. There. Now let's use an if statement. If LBL cash, that is the name of the label I intend to enter the customer deposit, equals 0. If you notice, I have a 0 in there. I'm now going to say if it's equals 0, then LBL cash.text equals, let's clear it. Let's clear whatever we have in there first, and LBL cash equals b.text. There. Right. That is for whatever we have in there. Okay, now the next thing we want to do is we want to use else if, because we have the decimal point. We say else if b dot, no, undo that, if b dot text, copy that here, paste that in here. If b dot text equals the decimal point, okay, let's put that in a bracket and this in the brackets as well. Then we want as follows: all of these, grab that, LBL cash.text equals LBL cash.text plus whatever we have inside B. There. Okay, so that is if it is in decimal place. Okay, oh, there should be another if statement, sorry. So I'm going to grab this if, because it's not going to work this way. If that, and move this here, there, and here. So that means if not LBL cash.text dot contains the decimal point, then I want this to happen. Then it should allocate a decimal there. Okay, then come right down here and right below here. Okay, I will then say else. We now want this. We're going to assume that is going to be for the text there. I think that should take care of that. Yeah, I can't see any error, so I'm going to have to run it and just see how that's going to look like. So let's click on run there, and we click on this. You see that we can enter whatever value we want there. Let's see if this works now. Let's see what I've done wrong. Yeah, I think this might be the cause. Let's take that off. Yeah, okay, now I'm going to try it again. Let's run it. Click on run. I think I'm going to end up with the same error though, but there's something I've spotted. Oh, the clear is not working yet. Okay, it's working now, but here, you see here, that is supposed to be if not LBL cache. This very one here, LBL cache dot text if not LBL cache dot text dot contains that. Okay, and this equals this. Okay, yeah, that's logically correct now. So let's run that and see again. And that's it. So let's enter something in there and click on that again. So that is fine. My decimal point is now working fine. So let's take care of the clear. I'm just going to grab this. Come right here. Double click on clear. Paste that in there. That takes care of the clear function. That is fine. Now I now need to create a function here. So let's go right up there. I'm going to move right up there. So have a good look at these lines of code for now. That's just for the button. That is for the form load, clear or reset, and for my print, part of the print, and right underneath here I'm going to create as follows. So let's create a public class in here. So I'm going to say public double, and that is going to be known as cost of underscore item. Yeah, there. So that is the name of my function, cost underscore items with an S. Now we now enter the following. I'm going to say double. Okay, that is going to be sum equals 0. There, that is the double. And the next thing I'm going to declare is going to be integer. Let's say I equals 0 as well. Then I'm going to use a for loop. Let's say for, let's change this one to uppercase D. Let's say for I equals 0, and I, that is going to be less than data grid view dot rows dot counts there, and toss a semicolon right there. Okay, and I'm just going to say I plus plus there. Okay, so I have my very first. Let's cover this here as well. Right, and semicolon here. We already have a semicolon, so that's fine. But here I need to enter a semicolon. Okay, so that's good. So the next thing I want to now do is I'm going to open up a curly braces for that. Now say sum equals sum plus convert dot to double. And what are we converting to double? That is going to be data grid view dot row dot rows, and open up an array, close that, dot cells, and that will be an array as well, and that is the second column of my data grid view. Dot value. Right, and close this right here. Okay, now what else do we need to do? Let's return sum. We return sum. That should take care of that. So let's say return sum. There we go. That error is gone, and enter semicolon right there. Okay, so that's my very first function taken care of. Let's do one other thing. I'm going to declare another one that is going to be a private one. So let's say private. Let's say void add cost. Open and close. There we go. Now for add cost, I'm going to create double as well. Then I'm going to add tags in there. So let's say double, that is going to be tags, comma, q there, and the value for the tags is going to be, let's initialize the tax with about 3.9. That's the tax you're paying. There we go. Alright, so now let's use an if statement. So we can, let's just grab all of these. I'm going to grab that with my if statement underneath here. If this is less than 0, or no, greater than 0, okay, yeah, that's correct. Come right down here, open up a curly braces. In that case, LBL tax dot text equals, let's convert that to string dot format. We're converting it to pounds so I can use a pound sign. Then I'm going to enter speech mark, curly braces, and that is going to be 0 column 2 C2. That should give me the pound sign that I want. Okay, depend on your own currency sign. So in here, let's say, okay, cost of item, I want to multiply that by tax, and I then want to divide it. Come right here, divide that by 100, so that will give me my tax value here. Alright, so that is fine. That takes care of that. Let's see, I have one here, one for these, one for these, and one for these, one for, okay, that's fine. Alright, now let's do the same thing for subtotal. I can just grab all of these and come right down here. LBL subtotal, paste. In the case of subtotal, I'm going to get rid of the tax. Yeah, let's get rid of the tax. This very one we have to go delete, and delete this as well. And what else? We need to delete one more of these. No, we should leave that and delete. How many do I have in here? Get rid of all of these. Let's take care of the Q. I'm going to assign a value to Q, and I'm going to say Q equals that as well. There. Now, let's go for LBL total. LBL total. In the case of LBL total, no, that should be LBL total. The text equals. I'm going to grab all of these here, and I will add Q to it. Yeah, copy that, paste that right in here, and let's add Q plus Q right underneath here, plus Q. There. And that takes care of total. Now I also need the LBL barcode. In the case of LBL barcode, I'm going to have to say .text, and that will be, let's convert to string, dot to string, and that is going to be Q plus cost of items. Grab cost of items and just place that there. Enter semicolon here. We need to enter equals here. I think that's it. So that is taken care of. Alright, now let's take care of the change itself. This will take care of my calculation of tax, subtotal, and total, and this will just display ordinary barcode. In the case of the very first one here, the very first function, this function is just to determine which of the column I'll be using for calculation, which is column number 2. So column number 2, officially the columns is column 0, 1, and 2. There are 3 columns in there, so I'm using column number 2 for my calculation. Okay, now I'm going to create another function here. We just call that public void, maybe change, because it's going to be giving out change. So let's enter change in there. There we go. In the case of change, let's move this up. Let's grab all that we have in here for the change. I'm going to grab all of these. Maybe grab everything and just take care of what I don't need. No, do this first. Copy this, paste it right in here, and bring that down. And close this. Okay, that takes care of the error. And in here, maybe enter another variable C. The tax is there already. Okay, data grid view that role is greater than this, so in that case Q. I'm going to need Q. Let's grab this Q here, paste Q there. So this is the value of Q. Okay, so this is the tax, but in this case let's add the cost of item to it as well. Okay, plus the cost of item there. Okay, so that is the total of everything. So the tax plus the cost of item will give us the total cost. Now I'm going to then say C equals whatever we enter, which is whatever we enter from our buttons that we created. So let's convert to int 32. So let's then say lbl cache dot text there. So that takes care of that. So when I click on those buttons, whatever number I entered is stored right in here. Right. Okay, this should be uppercase T. Now let's see. To now get the total is going to be, no, we need to subtract this from this to get the change. So let's come down here and say lbl change dot text equals, convert dot to format, open up a bracket and grab all of these. I hate typing those out, put them in here, and it's going to be C, no, it's lowercase c minus q, and that's it. Enter semicolon here, there, and that takes care of the change. So the function for change is taking care of every single function that I need is there. Okay, this is the very first function that will determine the rows where the calculation will take place. Now the second function is to carry out all of the calculations, and the third function right here, that we're going to be using that for change. Alright, we can just call this one right away inside in here. Let's go to pay. So when you enter whatever in there, the pay will determine. Or let's see this. Let's move all of this down a little bit. And these ones need to come down as well. Okay, right inside pay, so double click on pay. I'm going to use an if statement. If combo dot text equals cache, right. Then I want to call change. There we go. I've just called that function now. Else and I want lbl change dot text equals clear, and lbl cache should return back to 0. So paste that in there. Okay, I've taken care of pay. Now we have this 1, 2. It's taking care of 3. So what is left is this. Now let's come in here, double click on remove item. Yeah. In the case of remove item, I'm going to use for each data grid view, so view, for each data grid view row, let's create a small object there that will be row. In this dot data grid view 1, that's my data grid view, dot selected rows, yeah, there, open the curly braces. So for each of that in there, I now want it to remove. So data grid view 1 dot row dot rows dot remove rows. There we go. That is to remove the row, and once the row is removed, I now want the add function again. This add add cost. I want that function called. Once that function is called, I might as well grab my the cache to do its own thing. I'm just going to grab all of that and just paste it right underneath here. There, and that takes care of my remove. But none of this will do anything because we have to be able to click on those buttons to be able to put all these calculation in progress really. There, you see, there's nothing happening here. So all these ones are just a waste of time. You see, nothing is happening. So clear. Oh, when I reset, I want this one to return back to 0. Okay, if we say remove, there's nothing to remove, so there's an error. Okay, so we take care of that now anyway. So let's come back in and let's see, this one should be, this is cache, I think. It is cache. Double click on reset. Cache equals 0. There we go. Now, each of these buttons, so let's enter some lines of code in there. So when I click on this button, I want the item to be displayed in here. Double click on that. So right in here, I'm going to first of all create a data type that will be double, and this double is going to be cost. Let's call it cost of items. Cost of item equals £2.30. There. Now let's use a for each statement. I might as well grab it right here. Just grab it right there. Grab everything, come right down here and just paste it right underneath here. There we go. Now I'll then use an if statement again. Okay, here let's move this one right underneath here. I'm going to come back to that, and here I'll use an if statement. If, now we have to use boolean. If boolean equals true, if boolean row, okay, dot cells is the very first one, dot value equals, let's say, the caps coffee. There. If it's the cap coffee, we want the system to do as follows. So what I want the system to do will be this. Okay, if it's the cap coffee, do as follows right there. Let's undo that and see what I've just done. Okay, that's fine. Okay, the cap copy to become rows dot cell row. That is going to be the first one. The second one, I mean, dot value equals double dot pass, and what are we passing is going to be, let's pass it as a string row dot cells, and this cells in this case is going to be for the next number, the second one, dot value plus 1 there. Okay, now let's repeat the same thing again for the second one. I'm going to copy all of these and paste it right in here. So this will become number 2. So we have 0, the very first one, the second one, the third one. Okay, and in this case this will be 1. Multiply this by this to give us the cost. Grab that, come right here, there. Alright, that is fine. So now let's come right down here and just say add the cost. Add cost, parentheses there. Okay, let's take care of this. Let's enter a bracket in there. Alright then, now let's take care of this one. Now we now need to add the name, this very name. We need to add it straight into the role here. So all I just need to say is role.add. And what am I adding? I'm adding that, comma. I also want to add the number, which is how many, that will be 1. Then comma, I also want to add the cost of the product. Grab that and paste it right here, just there, semicolon. And that's all there is to it. I can just move this one. Let's move this one right underneath here. There. Okay, that's all there is to that. So let's get rid of this. Let's take care of this error there and delete this one. There we go. Alright, that takes care of my very first item. So let's see if it's going to work. We're going to run it and see. Now click on that. There we go. First item. You see, automatically calculate the cost as well. You see that, guys? That is good. And you can also see my barcode there. That is fine. So we can select and start removing now. Yeah, you see, remove item is working as expected there. Okay, reset. Brilliant. So all I'm then going to do is copy all of this, copy that, and come right here to the second one, double click on that. The price of that is £1.90, and change this to £1.90, and the name of that very item is it called, what is it called? This is called, okay, and that one maybe we just change that to cappuccino. So the one with the £1.90, I'm going to change that to cappuccino. Cappuccino, double C, right there. Okay, and I also need to change this to cappuccino as well. Come right here, change this one to cappuccino. There, guys. So the cost, the name of the item. Let's run and see. Okay, there we go, cappuccino there and there. So both of them are working. And now grab this, come on to the next one, double click. That one is 90p. We can just call that black coffee. So come right here, that is 90, and change this to black coffee. There. That is easy. So grab that and paste it right in here. That is fine. Now the next one, the next one will be, okay, paste that, and that one might be chocolate drink. The name is there anyway. Grab the name and paste that in here. Chocolate drink, change that. And the cost of chocolate drink one, that's £2 plus £2.59. Right, chocolate drink is taken care of. Now grab those lines of code, go for the next one. The next one is the original coffee. Double click on that, £3 plus £3.95. 3.95 original coffee or ordinary coffee. Paste that in there. Okay, repeat the same thing here. There. Now the next one is 375. Okay, we actually need to grab all of these. Grab that, paste that in here. That's 375. Change the 7, and that is supposed to be chocolate latte. Paste there. Repeat the same thing here. Paste there. Okay, so I think I've taken care of 6. Yeah, that's good. So let's run it and you guys see how that looks like. Then we can speed up the rest. It's exactly the same lines of codes anyway. So let's run it and see. There we go, guys. There we go. That's the chocolate latte, original coffee, chocolate drink, black coffee, cappuccino, copper coffee. There, guys, it's working as expected, apart from these that are not ready yet. So I'm going to now speed that up since you guys get the whole idea. But before that, let me just show it to you once more. So I'm going to double click on this. Okay, and I'll grab these lines of codes here, the same lines of codes. Come right down here, paste it right inside the procedural area there, and this one is called mixed, orange mixed, and orange mixed here. Change the name to orange mixed, and change the name here to orange mixed as well. Now, one last thing, we need to know the name. Is the price is £1.20p. So come right down here and change that to £1.20p. There, that is how it's done. Okay, I'm now going to speed up the rest and get back to you guys shortly. Okay, guys, I'll finish with the coding. So that is it for every single buttons. That's the last one. There we go. You see, as you can see, they are both the same lines of code, apart from the only difference is the price of each item and the names of the item. There, so that is it. I have 24, you can have 9. Okay, so let's run it and see how that's going to look like. There we go. Now, decision time. So let's select any of these items. Yeah, you want these. There we go, look at that. It's working as we want. There. And maybe you don't want any of this. Okay, I don't want that. Remove. I don't want this. There. And let's say the customer intend to pay with cash. Let's enter the cost in there, £50. The customer is paying. Click on total. There we go. If you subtract this from this, that should give you £50. With that, guys, I'm going to call it the end of this very lovely C# tutorial of point of sales application, and I'm just going to call it the end of this tutorial. And please do subscribe to my channel, and you can also join to become a member of the channel. There's a lot of benefit for you as a member, and for my members, I'm going to say thanks a lot for all your help. Thank you. And you all have a nice day now. Bye for now.